بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم
Assalamu alaikum. It is Thursday, the 2nd of September 2021, and we welcome you to our broadcasts, the series called Reflections on the Holy Quran. And in that series, this is broadcast number 249. We are looking at the meaning of the words of verse 91 of Al-Baqarah. And this is our sixth broadcast in that series, sharing thoughts about the meanings of the words of this verse. Just to remind you that these broadcasts are brought to you by Lahore Ahmadiyya Community, which was created by Hazrat Mirza Ghulam Ahmad Sahib of Qadian, who taught us that although other people say that the Holy Prophet wasn't the last prophet, but the Quran says that the Holy Prophet was Khatamun Nabiyyin. And the Holy Prophet himself said, La Nabiya Badi, there is no prophet after me. So now no prophet shall come, whether an old one or a new one. But the Holy Prophet Muhammad also said that when the Ummah goes astray, God will send Mujaddadeen to guide them to the right path. Now, Hazrat Mirza Ghulam Ahmad said that people are very keen to jump on the bandwagon of takfir, of calling each other kafirs on the smallest excuse. But the Holy Prophet Muhammad had said that if one reciter of the kalima says to another reciter of the kalima, you are not a Muslim, then it is the person saying it who's not a Muslim. And Hazrat Mirza Ghulam Ahmad also taught that although people say that part of prophetic revelation has been missed from the Holy Quran, like Surah Rajam or Ayah Rajam or Surah Walayat, but no part of prophetic revelation is missing from the Holy Quran. And that although people say some verses of the Holy Quran have been abrogated, this is untrue. Even Hazrat Shah Waliullah Sahib Rahmatullah Alayhi said that 7 verses of the Holy Quran are abrogated. But Hazrat Mirza Ghulam Ahmad said that no verse of the Holy Quran is abrogated. And he stressed that jihad is a duty of every Muslim. But its definition, jihad's definition, should be what the Holy Prophet Muhammad said and not someone else. And the Holy Prophet Muhammad said, when returning from fighting, that the Muslim army was coming from the minor jihad, jihad-e-sagir, and returning to jihad-e-akbar, the greater jihad. And then went on to explain that the greater and the most difficult jihad is the jihad against your own souls, against your own selves. And this series is a part of that jihad. So let us turn to the today's topic. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم وإذا قيل لهم آمنوا بما أنزل الله قالوا نؤمن بما أنزل علينا ويكفرون بما وراءه وهو الحق مصدقا لما معهم قل فلما تقتلون أنبياء الله من قبل إن كنتم مؤمنين. And when it is said to them, believe in that which Allah has revealed, they say, we believe in that which was revealed to us. And they deny what is besides that, while it is the truth verifying that which they have. Say, why then did you kill Allah's prophets before this, if you were believers? So today we are going to look at the word musaddiqan. So let's go to my notes. Now the the root, triliteral root of this word is Fad Dal Kaf, and it occurs in the Holy Quran 155 times in 19 different forms, and 59 times as Sadiq. So that's the most frequent use. And then we have 19 times as Musaddiq. And then we have 15 times as Sadaqa, and 14 times as Sidq. And I think I mentioned 19 times Musaddiq. And then where are we? 10 times as Saddaqa. And then what else do we have? 6 times as the Saddaqa, and 8 times as Sadaqat, and 5 times as Sadaqat, and 5 times as Siddiq. And then other occurrences of once or twice, like Siddiqat once, and once as Sadiqat and Tasdeeq, and so on. And people who speak Urdu will be familiar with these words. And remember, the word Sadaqa is also comes from this, voluntary charity. Okay, so It is the opposite antonym of al-kizbu. What does that mean? That means lie. And it's used about a statement that you make, something you say, maybe about the past, maybe about the future. And it relates to those statements in which you give some sort of news type information. If you say something, I don't know, about Newton's laws of physics, and you get them wrong, then, it doesn't mean that you are lying. This is about, your beliefs and opinions and that kind of thing, or something that is happening. So this is why in chapter 4, verse 122, the Holy Quran says, وَمَنْ أَصْدَقُ مِنَ اللَّهِ قِيلًا. And except for God, who is better in speaking the truth? Who speaks the truth more than God? إِنَّهُ كَانَ فَادِي قَلْ وَعْدٍ. Chapter 19, verse 54. And they were true to their promise. Now, a promise is about the future. Lend me £10 and I'll return it to you next week, kind of thing. And again, what God says is about the past. And we see this in the Holy Quran. God talks about creation of Adam and, prophets who've gone like Hazrat Ibrahim and Abraham and Noah and so on, and also about the future. In a personal sense, God is talking about the future when it says to me, when you die, you'll have to account for your deeds. It's talking about the future. Then it says that one day this system as we know it on this earth will come to an end. And then we'll all have to account for our deeds. And we can see in some ways we are accounting for our deeds. We have misused God's resources and caused global warming. And we see the results all around us. Fires in California, cyclones, tornadoes, flooding, forest fires in Turkey and other places and so on. And as-sidqu means that you express with your tongue what is in your heart. And if the whole condition is not met, then this doesn't apply. I mean, for example, if a non-Muslim says, I believe that the Holy Prophet I believe that Muhammad was a prophet of Allah. Now he's a non-Muslim. If the same thing is not in his heart, and he's saying it just for some benefit or out of some kind of fear, then he's a liar. He's a kazzab. And we had an example of this a few years ago, when many people who were not Ahmadis would come to England and Germany and France and Canada and United States, and they would go there and they would say, well, we've become Ahmadis, and we're being persecuted for that, and we want asylum. And we became Ahmadis because we found that this is the correct interpretation of Islam. Now, they were lies. Why were they lies? Because what they were saying with their tongue was not in their heart. And so, in fact, the Holy Quran itself refers to this phenomena. When in chapter 63, verse 1, it says, Nashhadu innaka la Rasulullah. He's talking about the hypocrites, that they say that the Holy Prophet Muhammad is Rasulullah, is a prophet of Allah. But God says they're liars, because what they're saying with their tongue, although what they're saying is true, they're still liars because they're not saying what's in their heart. And then we have as-siddiq, as-siddiq. And that is, people say, someone who speaks the truth. Some say, no, it means that someone who is incapable of lying. And others say, yes, but included in it should be that what he believes, he should be stating, and then putting it into practice. So believing in the heart, expressing it with the tongue, and putting it into action. If all three things are done, then this person is a Siddiq. So, for example, in chapter 19, verse 41, the Holy Quran says, "Wazkur fil kitabi Ibrahim innahu kana siddiqan nabiyya." And Abraham is mentioned in the book. Or remember Abraham, who's in the book. Without doubt, he is a righteous Nabi. He was a Siddiq Nabi, Siddiq prophet. Again, chapter 5, verse 75, it says, Wa ummuhu Siddiqa. And the mother, or his mother, was Siddiq. Then we have the verse of the Holy Quran, chapter 4, verse 29. Minan nabiyyina wa siddiqina wa shuhada. Now, it's talking about the prophets, Nabis, Siddiq, and Shuhada, Shaheed. So the Siddiq and Shaheed may not have had the same status on earth, but after death, because of what they have done, they're put with the prophets. They're not prophets. I mean, the example I give to try and explain this is that many years ago, I think it was in 1970, I had dinner with the Queen Mother. It was a university function, and I was asked to sit at her table. Now, does this make me a member of the royal family? No, it doesn't. Being a prophet is something permanent. And just because you have one quality, it doesn't mean to say that you have that, the status of a prophet. The word is also used, or the expression is also used in I guess it's a metaphorical way. For example, if someone claims that they're going to go out and they're going to fight and fight bravely and not retreat and all this kind of thing, and he does what he says, then the expression is sadaqa fil qital. He was true in battle. So presumably he believed it in his heart, he expressed it with his tongue, but he also put it into action. And if he didn't fight as he said, as he claimed he was going to do, then you'll say kazaba fil qital. That in fighting he was untrue. That is, that he didn't put into action what he said. In another place, chapter 33, verse 23, Rijalun sadaqu ma ahadullah alayhi. And there are people who have fulfilled their promise to Allah. And in chapter 33, verse 17, just before the above verse, it says, La yas'al as-sadiqina an sidqihim. That people who speak the truth with their mouths, with their tongues, meaning they say, they express with their tongues what is in their hearts. Now quiz them about practical truth, which is, did they put what they were saying into practice? I mean, there are many examples. We say, you have to speak the truth. Yes, fine. No one says you should lie. But then, when push comes to shove, does everyone who say that actually do it? Siddiq would be a person who in his heart believes you should speak the truth. With his tongue he expresses the fact that you should speak the truth. And then, even in a very difficult situation, he speaks the truth. I mean, to give you an example, the promised Messiah, Hazrat Mirza Ghulam Ahmad, was sending out a leaflet that he had printed. And in India at the time, I don't know whether it's still true or not, they had, well, in fact, in most countries, they used to have two rates of postage. Printed matter. So if you were sending a newspaper or a magazine or something like that, you paid a lower postage. But if it was a private letter or a business letter, then you paid more. And Nasir Saab was sending this booklet or whatever it was, which was printed. And he was writing names and addresses on envelopes, and he was writing a name, and he suddenly thought of a new point which was pertinent to this person. So he put a note in there saying whatever it was. I don't know. I can't remember. And this man, when he opened the envelope which had been sent, printed matter rate, this piece of paper fell out. And he reported the matter to the police because this was regarded as fraud. So Hazrat Saab had to go to court. And the lawyer representing him said, well, it's very easy, isn't it? I mean, everyone knows that, he is an opponent, he hates you, he makes speeches against you, he writes articles against you, etc. So all you have to do when you go in there is to say, no, I didn't put it in there. I sent it separately. And he is now making a false claim that I put this handwritten note into the same envelope as the printed matter. And Hazrat Saab said, well, I can't do that. The man said, well, why can't you do it? And the promised Messiah said, because it's a lie. And someone said, well, if you don't do it, then you're certain to be sent to prison. And then the world will put curses on you and your Jamaat, and people will leave and so on. And what a wonderful reply was given by Hazrat Mirza Ghulam Ahmad. He said, I would have had my hand on the Quran and I would swear an oath that I'll tell the truth. And after that, you want me to lie? And he said, you want me to lie so that to avoid curses of people of this world, but take upon my shoulders God's curse for lying after swearing an oath on the Quran. He said, I can't do that. And his lawyer said, well, in that case, you'll certainly go to prison. And he said, well, Hazrat Saab said, so be it. And people then said, well, everyone will leave you and, this, that, and so on. And Hazrat Saab said, if you people are so weak in your faith that you're going to leave the Jamaat just because I insisted on speaking the truth, even though it's against my interests. There's a verse in the Holy Quran, give true evidence. It doesn't matter whether it's against your children, your relatives, or yourself. They said, I can't do that. And if I lose the whole Jamaat, then God will give me another Jamaat that will be greater in sacrifices and greater in steadfastness. You see, that is Siddiq. In the heart, give true evidence, whoever it's against. On the tongue, the same verse of the Holy Quran. And in action, when push comes to shove, that is put into practice. It's easy to say, oh, well, you must speak the truth. But the point is this. When push comes to shove, do you do it? When your own personality is in danger, when your own person is in danger, do you do it? When your wife is in danger, when your children are in danger, do you do it? And the Holy Quran says, chapter 39, verse 33, وَالَّذِي جَاءَ بِالصِّدْقِ وَصَّدَقَ بِهِ. What does it mean? That he takes the truth to the people and then puts that truth into action. By his actions, he acts upon that truth. It's the hardest part. That is what makes you Siddiq. There's a lot more to be said on this word because, as I said, the word sadqa, voluntary charity that we give, comes from this as well. but we run out of time. So with the prayer that whoever you are and wherever you may be, I take my leave of you. We don't have these broadcasts on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So, inshallah, we'll meet again on Monday. Assalamu alaikum, Khuda Hafiz. Goodbye.